Saturday morning's earliest hours dawned with chaos, and Friday night's final hours ended in anger. But before that violence, there was peace. Texas is not Minnesota.
It's a problem.
Dallas is not Minneapolis.
At the end of the day, what we saw was murder.
But it happened in America.
There is no way in the hell that you put your knee on someone's neck and think that they are going to be able to breathe.
It happened to an American, and they feel like it happened to them.
They're killing us for no reason. No reason.
These are not just cries of justice for George Floyd.
Don't you dare sit there and let your black African-American male or female die because of these cops.
People with their skin color are being killed. You know, he's 3, and I had to tell him that today. You know, it's not right.
They are afraid of the people who are supposed to protect them.
I feel like I'm supposed to feel safe, but now that all this is happening, I'm like scared.
It just messed up.
Fighting for justice is the American way, but a night of violence.
We will not be the target of violence.
A morning of rage isn't.
We shouldn't have never got here. We shouldn't have never got here. We shouldn't have never let them divide us up like this.
In Dallas, I'm Teresa Woodard.
They are searching for the break in the clouds.
So everything that I have is gone.
Already in the year of a pandemic, weathering each figurative storm.
I don't think I could explain it in words. I just lost my home.
Only to be taken out by a real one.
The wind was so strong. This is some power.
And that power can be seen in the destruction at this apartment complex in Arlington on Tuesday night.
It's really bad. All the AC units got blown off the house.
They're all over the place. They're over there on the parkway. They're right over here in the back.
Walls are crumbling. Families are scrambling.
So we're just trying to save as much as we can right now.
Minerva Rios and her sons are figuring out what's worth saving before the roof caves in.
The upstairs is gone. It's like it's buckling down.
While experts figure out if this was a tornado, families are figuring out what's next.
I don't know from here. I don't know where we're going to go.
We've got 75 displaced families at this point.
Evelyn Jones is one of those displaced. She already survived 3 heart attacks in the last couple years.
And I didn't need another one.
She has to leave the apartment that was her refuge the last 8 months during the pandemic.
Lord, if it's my time to go, it's just my time to go.
There is never a good time to lose everything, but there are worse times.
My turkey's still in the sink, still defrosting.
It's 2 days before Thanksgiving. Minerva could use that break in the clouds.
Oh, you have me so much emotions right now. You don't know.
If thankful is the right word, we should be thankful nobody died and nobody was badly hurt. The Red Cross is working to house these families. It feels almost unfairly fitting that the year would end like this.
It's something that you'll never forget. You'll never forget it.
Sometime and somewhere there is a break in the clouds, because families can only weather so much. In Arlington, I'm Jobin Paniker.
It's the little radio station in far north Texas that gives away cash at Christmas and has been a fixture in Gainesville for 73 years.
It's a wonderful thing.
So, as is the present day custom, station manager Steve Eberhardt thought a personalized license plate would be a cool addition to their one station vehicle.
I applied for it, and a couple of weeks later...
But in a world that communicates now with OMGs and LOLs, IDKs, and IMHOs, the state told him that KGAF might mean something too. Would you trust me to bleep you today, or do you not want to say it?
Well, I've been told that it's an acronym or a slang for social media for can't give a f***. But certainly we never intended that.
The Texas DMV rejected him twice, saying that the call letters the FCC gave them way back in 1947 amount to vulgar, swear, or curse words. But Monday, in downtown Gainesville at the tax assessor collector's office, a small Cook County miracle happened.
Hello.
It had taken weeks of complaints.
I hear y'all have something for me.
But Steve Eberhardt got the plates after all.
Let's open them up and you can take a look at them.
Oh, it's perfect. Look at that. Wow. I'm so pleased. That's beautiful.
because he knew the right guy to call.
Always when you're on the spot.
State Representative Drew Springer, who made a call or two of his own and then
the state-approved call letter
showed up with his own electric drill.
I just called government relations and says, guys, y'all need to reevaluate that.
It's actually nice to know that at some point common sense came into play.
They're a great part of the community, and I'm glad to help them.
And I guess ultimately it's sure nice to have friends in high places.
So KGAF, which Steve Eberhardt swears doesn't mean anything in particular, can now proudly display its letters. KGAF, the hometown radio station that BTW can get a license plate after all. In Gainesville, I'm Kevin Reese.
Oh, it's so sad not to have those big moments.
It's not the traditional pomp and circumstance. More like parade and circumstance.
Oh my gosh, this is so weird, but I'm so excited for these students. They deserve it.
LD Bell High School brought out the bells and whistles for the class of 2020.
I'm so excited. I'm sad I can't say hi to everyone, but it's pretty awesome.
Congratulations! Teachers and administrators cheered on the seniors as they picked up their cap and gown.
At least I get to wear it now then.
Brandon Tran put his on right away.
I don't even know if I'll have graduation, so we have this now, so I'm grateful for that.
The seniors left for spring break and never came back to school, so we asked teachers, if they had just 5 more minutes with their students, what would they say?
Oh, gee. Well, I've figured out a way to do something fun.
Life is going to throw you so many curveballs and so many challenges, and just try to have a really positive attitude.
The message, the class of 2020 will beat COVID-19, and someday the pandemic will be in their rearview mirror, and the road to a new journey will be in front of them.
They will be stronger for this experience because they know 2 things. They know they can persevere, and they know they won't be stopped.
In Hearst, I'm Rebecca Lopez.
It's heartbreaking. And it hurts. It hurts so much.
People are hurting.
I'm just as old as her.
And in Fort Worth, off Hemp Hill Street, this is a place to grieve.
I woke up this morning and came straight here.
To leave flowers.
It's painful. I got kids.
To send prayers to Army Specialist Vanessa Guillen and her family.
Her parents are from the part of Mexico where my parents are from. So we see the pain on the parents.
They all heard how investigators say she died.
It immediately brought me to tears because...
beaten to death, dismembered, burned, and buried.
Multiple. Like, that means there's no chance.
She was a young female minority soldier.
No, she was a small voice, and that's why she didn't matter.
And it took her death to finally have her voice heard.
I'm just so sorry that this happened to your little girl.
For Vanessa Guillen's family.
We're all here for them to stay strong. And I hope they can find some peace.
They've never met the people here today.
Todos estamos unidos con ustedes.
But they come in unity.
Es mucha fuerza.
And in strength.
Que uno se sienta mejor.
To bring comfort.
She will always be remembered.
In Fort Worth, I'm Tiffany Liu.
Go this way. Stop.
Let's see what happened. Let's see if they can do it in a few minutes.
So the wrecking ball is going to go into the building.
It won't go down without a fight.
Here it goes, James.
Slowly but surely. This is going to take all day.
But if you know this story,
we're going to be here for a minute.
That's not a surprise.
Perfect.
It's just truly amazing that after all the explosives, it still didn't go down.
Crews tried to demolish this building last Sunday.
Watch, I promise you won't regret being here.
But when the stairwell survived the blast, this old office became the new Leaning Tower of Dallas.
And it does look like artwork, you know? It really does.
Now 8 days later,
knock, knock.
Crews took another swing at it.
Bang!
Actually, they took several hundred swings at it.
Get that thing going here and just wham it, man.
For 8 hours Monday, a 6,000-pound wrecking ball chipped away at this tenacious tower.
That's a good one.
Ooh. It's still standing.
It's a little slow. That's what I'm saying. Get on this side.
Eventually, this land will be home to a major development.
This is a high-profile location.
that will give any tenant a strong presence in the market.
Artemio de la Vega is in charge of a 5 million square foot project, partially residential, retail, restaurants, office space, and more.
We're blessed that we can design a project around everything and anything that makes people feel happy.
His construction will take time, about 3 years to complete.
Is batting practice or what?
This demolition is taking time too.
You must be getting paid by the hour.
It's been here much longer than expected.
Right?
Yeah.
A week later, the Leaning Tower is hanging on.
Even though it doesn't really seem like it's coming down slowly.
In Dallas,
I think this is gonna take all day.
I'm Alex Rosie.
Imagine the front of a building as a canvas.
This is our building, yes.
And nothing sends a message like a name.
The name is everything.
Jennifer's group had signs ordered and installed, all but one.
Right here in the middle.
The city of the Colony had a problem with one word on that sign.
Yes, one word.
Penis.
All of a sudden, everybody clams up.
Except for Dr. Nicole Bush.
It's just a word.
A pediatric neurologist who's done thousands of surgeries in the same building for a birth defect so common, the world comes here to the Hypospadia Specialty Center. The name of their nonprofit is Operation Happiness.
Happiness, H-A-P-P-E-N-I-S. You're going to call your charity that? I really had a lot of people question the name that we came up with.
They help families deal with the isolation and shame that comes with a penis birth defect.
It's a very passionate subject.
The city did not do interviews, but says it is not opposed to what the group does, just the word they wish to display.
One word. One body part.
One section. Section 6258, on prohibited signs, any sign containing graffiti, obscene, indecent, or immoral words.
Is it indecent?
No.
Is it immoral?
No.
Is it obscene?
No.
But it is now up for an appeal to the city's signboard.
I think this is the epitome of irony that we can't talk about a body part that half of the world has.
Fighting the stigma by fighting for a name. Because to them, what is not here maybe sending a bigger message.
Well, you can't say happiness without saying penis.
In the Colony, I'm Jobin Panic.
Oh God, be our help as we begin this very important day to change the way the world works.
Blue and black came together as one.
We take a knee because we feel the pain too.
Police officers and protesters wanting change and unity.
What it means for me is a show of unity with the community we've been sworn to protect.
Sergeant Ivan Gunter was in downtown Dallas on July 7th when 5 officers were shot and killed, 3 of the officers under his command. Yet he came to this protest in a show of solidarity.
There is a problem, a systemic problem in our society, and we've been part of the solution for years. I've never had animosity toward my community. I understand the struggles.
The officers marched to the front of Botham Jean's apartment.
What's his name? Botham Jean!
He was killed by former Dallas police officer Amber Geiger, who was convicted of murder.
And we want to let the community know that all blue is united, and we're here to tell the bad officers, you know, every division, corporation, department has a few bad apples, and we're here to weed those out.
Officers and protesters took a knee as an officer read George Floyd's last words.
I can't breathe!
Tears fell as officers and protesters wept together.
I can't move, man! Mama! Mama!
Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban took a knee, recalling the first time he saw George Floyd's video.
It was painful. I mean, you think back to the horror and the just disgust you felt when I watched it the first time.
Cuban says the Mavs needed to be here.
This is our community. When the community hurts, we hurt. And, you know, when community needs strength, we want to be there to give them strength.
Police say they want the community to know they see them and they hear them. In Dallas, I'm Rebecca Lopez.
I am 86 years old.
In the days of COVID, a nursing home has been a sometimes lonely place to be.
Really enjoy seeing the people that used to come and I do miss them.
That's what Annabeth Field told me outside Twin Rivers Assisted Living in Plano.
Am I allowed to ask how young a lady you are?
I'm 93 and a half.
Youthful Flora Bowden told me about it too. Few, if any, visitors allowed inside. So to fix that, the chairs and the wheelchairs get rolled outside.
No pressure.
Socially distanced under the drive-up porch. And with her own show on wheels,
Hi, everybody.
they let Ruby Weston
Good to see you guys.
work her magic.
Some others I've seen might never be me.
Classically trained opera singer belting old standards now for an old audience who, in the middle of a pandemic, need her more than you might expect.
It's like an experience of a lifetime for them.
Diane Martinez hires Ruby as often as she can.
Music is everything. Brings back memories.
Like memories of husbands long since gone.
Oh, it makes me feel happy. And I'm grateful.
I love music. I love music. And I get so happy when I hear music.
The reactions are far beyond anything that I could ever expect. And just hearing things like that just make you want to do it even more. I enjoyed it, but now it gave me purpose.
Oh, it just makes me want to get up and dance.
On this particular morning, there was no dancing, but plenty of smiles, plenty of applause. Especially when Ruby's daughters joined her on the outdoor stage.
That's the truth.
It is true.
So the lady with the infectious laugh and soaring voice will show up to sing anytime they ask.
But yeah, I love it here, and just doing this really just makes me happy.
Happy to help ease the isolation a pandemic can bring until the day the show can finally move back inside. And this whole COVID thing can become a distant memory too.
As time goes by.
In Plano, I'm Kevin Reese.
Thank you.
When you think of home, it's the little things that take us there. For Lucas Ye,
Yeah, I like the smell of the wood especially.
He has a strange hobby.
I smell pencils.
the hundreds of pencils he collects take him there.
It feels home to me.
And here, nothing says home like what's heard through its halls.
I often want to turn off the world and turn on the music.
Okay.
His mother, Cindy, teaches piano. Music is literally everywhere in this home, even at Lucas's fingertips.
It smells like a cozy fireplace, too.
He is 12, soon to be 13, and what he does with a violin will put you in a trance.
I get goosebumps, and I'm very touched.
He spends hours every day practicing, so when an international competition asked for submissions,
We decide we're gonna try. So that's how it started.
he took second place in the world in his junior division. In 4 months, he'll play in the prestigious Carnegie Hall in New York. His talent shows, and in small, awesome notes, so does his age.
We can actually kind of sword fight with the bow sometimes.
The kid from Texas will have an opportunity of a lifetime to play somewhere away from here, but play what takes him home. In Frisco, I'm Jordan Paniker.
There's a lot of division going on.
Less than 2 months till Election Day.
We're big Trump supporters over here.
It's easy to spot the divide.
We think that we need an empathetic leader right now.
The divide is especially clear.
We're expecting a Trump win.
Here in Lower Greenville.
I think that this side of the house is more united, just that we don't want Donald Trump.
This home housing 12 seniors from SMU is now an attraction for people on both sides of the political aisle.
Thank you.
We put one Trump flag up on the porch of our house here. And then coming home from school, I think maybe the next week, we had seen 3 Biden flags erect on the other side. We started hammering the Trump flags up, and they kept responding, and now we're in a full-out flag war, I guess you could call it.
But you know what makes this war different?
I think the whole house agrees this is fun.
It's friendly.
To tell you the truth, we're huge in support of just political coexistence and peaceful political coexistence,
So as we move closer to Election Day, maybe we can learn something from a dozen college students.
Most people will agree on the majority of things. It's just how we get there and how we decide.
The people here have made up their minds.
My favorite thing about Donald Trump is how much he loves America.
About their vote.
We've had 4 years of a lot of polarization.
And their plans for the future of this flag war.
100% going to be more Trump merch hanging on the wall.
Stay tuned. We don't want to give away our whole plan. The only thing I can promise is that it will escalate.
But here's the good news.
There's no hard feelings between either side.
No matter what side you're on.
And we will end up on top.
It'll be over in November.
And there will be a socially distanced party here November 3rd.
In Dallas.
Feel free to come through.
I'm Alex Rozier.
They have been here before, and there is still no preparing for what passes them.
We're experiencing probably the worst of it.
In McKinney, 2 caskets, 2 loved ones taken by one virus.
The 1% are our family members, our friends, our grandparents, uncles, cousins, and they have names.
And their names are Stella and Francisco Arzola, husband and wife.
Te lo pedimos, Señor.
And friends to the many you see gathered here.
It's kind of like a nightmare that we wish we could wake up from.
In the last month, the Armijo, Arzola, and Pacheco families have lost nearly 2 generations, 5 people, all but one in the U.S., starting with their grandfather, Jose, in mid-July.
I literally told my mom, he's going to be fine. Like I'm not even worried about it. I was obviously wrong.
They remind you they are not numbers, but people. They were dads and moms and uncles and aunts.
To me, that's saying goodbye to her as well.
They played the music they all once sang and danced to.
Just something for them. Serenade them.
Funerals before the pandemic may have looked different, but grief is all the same.
People still don't believe it's true, but it's very real.
As real as the emotions you see here under a tent, and as real as the warning this family wants to give you now.
For this country to be great, we got to care for each other. No precaution is too much.
There is no preparing for what this family is going through, and they've been here before. In Allen, I'm Jobin Paniker.
I mean, they're always present and they're always with me.
One step at a time, staying in the moment, 1 mile at a time. I've already been through the worst pain, so that's why I know that I can fight through this. These trails and this road is like my church. Stay right here, and all I see is Reagan and Grant cheering me on.
Karen Sparks hasn't set foot on these grounds in 4.5 years.
Because I can't believe truly that this is my life.
it was like a dream. And you know, I wake up every day to a nightmare.
On this Saturday morning in late October,
good morning.
Good morning.
Karen woke up to what many might consider a nightmare. A goal of running 100 miles in the next 30 hours.
I'm trying to find my headlamp right now.
Setting off on a day-and-a-half journey to take her life back.
My life ended November 1st, 2015.
In the fall of 2015, Karen was going through a bitter divorce with her husband of 11 years.
I drove him to school.
And Halloween weekend was to be her husband David's time with their children, Reagan and Grant.
We said our prayers before they entered school. I watched them walk into school, and that is the last time I ever saw Reagan and Grant.
Two children apparently lost their lives at the hands of their father.
Karen received a phone call Sunday afternoon, November 1st, that her house was on fire.
She calls me, and she's screaming on the phone. Dad, he's killing my kids. He's killing my kids. I said, what? Stop. What are you talking about? My house is on fire. He's killing the kids.
There's no way. He would never do that. But in that instant, it was my mom, that mom gut feeling, and I said, he's hurting them, he's killing them, and he's getting back at me.
In the 5 years since, running has become Karen's addiction.
My kids were athletes, and they ran track.
A half marathon gave way to a full marathon, which led to ultra running.
Doing 50 Ks, 50 milers, and I just did 100K.
And on the 5-year anniversary of her children's death, 100 miles to honor them, no matter how crazy anyone thinks it may be.
I can't tell you the number of times I've looked there and said, look, don't do this to yourself anymore. You can do it another way. Don't do this. And for her to look me in the eye and say, Dad, I'm doing it.
And if I quit, then Reagan and Grant die a second death. And I will not have that. I will not stand for that.
Neither will they, revealing themselves to her throughout her run.
Being out on those trails it's a whole nother world. You see and you notice things that you would never notice. Reagan's at my right, Grant's at my left, and God's at my back. Nothing can stop me. That's what keeps me going.
And with friends who came in from all over the country to keep going, she did.
It's really special to see her do this.
Amazing how far she's come. Able to do this for them.
She's a hero. She's just a hero to so many people. Her strength, her resiliency, this is her moment. She's taking this weekend back.
We rewrote November 1st, 2015, and we conquered this 100 miles together.
All of us that are believers, we've got the same amount of time. We'll all live the same amount of time, eternity. Reagan and Grant just got a little more of heaven than we will.
100 miles, a Herculean feat, but it's nothing compared to a lifetime spent scaling a mountain of grief.
There is no closure. It's just the beginning.
In McKinney, I'm Mike Leslie.
This new coronavirus was initially traced to live animals.
The Chinese confirming that it is now spreading from human to human.
Every second was precious.
The first confirmed U.S. case of the contagious coronavirus.
And we didn't know it.
We have 22 patients in the United States. Unfortunately, one person passed away overnight.
We didn't know the race against COVID was a race against the clock.
All these masks are floating around out there. Which ones do health officials say you should use? None of them. Stores and websites sold out.
Unless you are ill, you have no need to buy a mask.
Right now in the United States,
People should not be walking around with masks.
A race against confusion, controversy, even conspiracy.
After months of hearing from experts on how we don't need to wear them, we're now seeing guidance that it might not be such a bad idea after all.
Mired in all of those things, more than anything, are masks.
Exactly, that's the point. It could lead to a shortage of masks.
We are told that the Trump administration is on the verge of urging Americans to wear masks.
If 6 feet apart keeps us healthy, then why the masks? If the masks, then why 6 feet apart?
To the people that don't feel like they need to wear a mask, I just don't get it.
We were told that the thinking was it was not necessary.
More and more accumulation of data indicate people who are without symptoms at all can transmit the virus.
Early mixed messages and no clear mandates left Americans questioning whether masks work.
I don't see it for myself. I won't be doing it personally. It's a recommendation.
We went to 4 cities in 4 counties to ask if Texans wear them.
I do wear a mask. I wear a mask at work, in my office with my door closed even, because I want to protect myself and those I work with.
If Texans believe in them.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable, but it's not as uncomfortable if you're running 104 fever for a week or 2 or 3.
Many do.
You got to remember, it's just not about you.
Life really hasn't changed for me, I guess.
Some don't.
So I personally do not wear one because I think that our immune systems need to build.
My son and I have asthma. It's more unhealthy for us to breathe through paper and fabric than keeping distance from people.
I think more people die of heart disease every year than they do of coronavirus. So I do feel like it's a bit of fear-mongering. I don't think it's as extensive and severe as they are saying.
The debate over wearing face masks is creating a sharp divide among some Americans.
Some are now arguing those masks infringe on their rights.
As time passed, more politicians weighed in. And a nonpartisan piece of cloth
I don't want to wear a seatbelt sometimes, but I wear a seatbelt.
became partisan.
The president has repeatedly refused to wear a mask in public.
You can do it. You don't have to do it. I'm choosing not to do it.
Many of his supporters are following his lead.
Well, it's my choice to wear this mask, and I'm like, well, where do your rights start and mine end then? Let's say you are asymptomatic. How are you now not infringing on mine?
Much about the coronavirus remains a mystery.
I'm a healthy,
but masks don't.
85-year-old, so that's good. I just follow the guidelines.
If it would save lives to stand on your head, I would do it.
Do you now regret not advising people more forcefully to wear masks?
Okay, we're going to play that game.
Should be a yes or a no.
No, there's more than a yes or no. There was a paucity of equipment. We did not want to divert masks and PPE.
Okay,
now that we have enough, we recommend.
Scientists now say masks are proven to slow the spread of COVID. And after a summer surge in cases.
This is not a matter of political spin. This is now a matter of life and death.
Once reluctant Texas politicians are not only preaching their worth.
I am issuing a face covering requirement for all counties with more than 20 COVID cases.
But requiring their use.
I think media's kind of blasted it further than it needs to go right now.
Texas, with nearly 7,000 new infections in a single day.
Dr. Anthony Fauci is warning the U.S. could see 100,000 cases per day if...
It is an 11th hour push to win a race against a virus.
That's the least we can do, is wear a mask.
I will not wear one.
In Texas,
a virus that doesn't want to lose.
10,000 new infections reported there today alone.
The virus is spreading so fast.
In Dallas,
there is little margin for error.
I'm Teresa Woodard.
Why we can't live at peace? Why we can't live with one another?
Nobody heard your voice like I did. I witnessed trying moments and triumphant moments. You knelt on me, laid on me, cried on me.
Where are your people, God? Where are your people, God?
When you needed me, I was there.
It's now 7 p.m. Curfew is in effect. Please make your way to your vehicles so we do not have to take enforcement action.
And when the sun sets, your chants still echo. Your message still stands. You drew on me. I was your canvas for days. The curfew has me quiet, but I still hear you.
Whose street? Our street! Whose street? Our street! Whose street? Our street!
I've seen fear, hope, anguish, compassion, unity, division, courage, and cowardice. You also hurt me. You set fire to me, broke me. But I can be rebuilt. Lives cannot. You come to me every time justice fails you. I hear you say their names. Their lives were taken at places that look like me. I am empty. And though I am cleaned, your footprint remains. I heard you. I saw you. I just wish the rest of the world did too.
In 2 containers on a Fort Worth street corner and inside a big white van.
All these cast iron skillets.
Willie Dimes collects
I
stuff.
got some of everything you can think of.
But he couldn't think of keeping these, the 2 Purple Hearts he found at an estate sale. So he asked me for help.
He may still be alive, I don't know.
But the only clue to who that person might be was a letter inside the case written by someone named Mary Rutsis in Duluth, Minnesota, way back in 1979. And then something really strange happened.
For some reason, just thought maybe I could do something.
At his house on a hill in Weatherford, Texas, Martin Branville watched our first story.
And so I made a phone call.
A phone call to a friend in Duluth, asking if he knew anyone named Mary Rutsis.
So
and they did.
That's when I called you and said, mystery solved.
And the next day,
hello.
Hi, is this Mary?
Yes.
I had Mary Rutsis on the phone.
Well, I'm glad we found you. We'll see if we can solve this mystery together. All right, thank you.
She told me the Purple Hearts belonged to her ex-husband, a Vietnam War veteran named Christian Rutsis, but they divorced more than 40 years ago. So, to solve the rest,
this is Terminal 1.
There was only one thing to do.
Please exit the tram.
A weekend trip to Minneapolis, and a 2-hour road trip to a little town in western Wisconsin, where in a small tan house surrounded by 3 feet of snow.
Yeah, that's my handwriting for sure.
Mary Rutsis held her handwritten letter, again.
Oh, we got 4 pages? Holy smokes.
And told me she'd also made a few phone calls of her own.
And I said, did he have Purple Hearts? She said, yes, and we can't find them. I said, well, we found them now.
Chris Rutsis was still alive, 5 hours north in Duluth, near the frozen shore of Lake Superior. And that's where the Purple Hearts needed to be.
What you doing, buddy?
At a nursing home in a second-floor sunroom decorated especially for the occasion.
There's your Purple Hearts, Chris.
His sister Joanne gave him the Purple Hearts.
You remember these?
With a tear rolling down her face.
10 years ago, this would have meant so much to him.
Yeah. Christian Rutsis is 73. Parkinson's and dementia have a firm grip on him now. After a lifetime of struggles with PTSD and the nightmares from what he saw and what he had to do in Vietnam.
When his son was born, he couldn't hold the baby because of things he had to do over there. It was hard for him, and he couldn't get over it.
Why do you still come visit? Because I know it can be difficult at times.
Because I love him. We're brother and sister, and I'll just be there till the end.
But even with an end drawing near, with the Purple Hearts back in hand, this is a family
Now you're smiling.
that can still find joy. Are there still good moments like this?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And a good moment deserves a good celebration.
Yeah, we're going back to the party, Chris.
Including a cake with one more very big Purple Heart.
He was very proud that he served.
What do you think, Chris?
Very proud.
Does it really mean something to you to get him back?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the completion of his life. Chew it up, buddy.
A life with 2 of its most important pieces returned thanks to Willie Dimes back in Fort Worth.
Special guy, only thing I can say, with 2 Purple Hearts.
Yeah, it's just the best thing ever. That's a good person.
How wonderful of him. What a good heart.
A good heart helping mend a few more on a very long journey home. In Duluth, Minnesota, I'm Kevin Reese.